Good morning, guys. Good morning. Welcome to the morning live. We are talking. You are a badass this morning at making money. So go grab some coffee, join us, learn how to shift out of that poverty mindset and into that wealth mindset. Good morning, Indigo. How are you? How's it going, everybody? Welcome in, welcome in. Good morning. If you've been struggling with making money or keeping money, you didn't get to do the homework, we'll go over it a little bit too. And yesterday was crazy for me. I actually ended up going to bed at like 8:30 last night, so I really didn't even get a I don't need comments from the peanut gallery, but we'll go over that too. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the rose. So yeah, we'll go over it and we'll look at different things about it. But yeah, yesterday was kind of crazy. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. How is everybody this beautiful Tuesday morning? It's kind of overcast and crappy here today, but still gonna be a good day. Welcome in, guys. Just waiting for some of our usual suspects to come in. For those who are used to my evening streams, I don't do free yes/nos or tarot readings in the morning. We are working on our manifesting skills, and this book is all about shifting out of your poverty mindset into your wealth mindset. So we finished the original You Are a Badass last week, and so we are working on the You Are a Badass at Making Money, the Master of the Mindset of Wealth. So one of the things that we were to do yesterday was to say a mantra throughout the day. And I feel like this is something that you should still continue to whenever you think about it, or especially when you start getting concerned or worried about money. You should be saying, I love money because I love myself. The great thing about the word because is it shifts something in our brain and it makes us pay attention. It makes our brain pay attention. So you can use this for anything, especially things that you're trying to manifest or shift out of a certain mindset. So like you could even just say, I love money because I love money, or I create wealth because I create wealth. And it shifts something within your brain. There's some sort of study on this too that I'd have to look it up. I can't remember. It might be in the Course of Miracles or something. I'm sorry, I don't do free yes/nos in the morning, honey. That's in my evening streams. Thank you for the gifts, though. I appreciate it. But you're welcome to come back and ask later. I should be on later tonight. So it's important to kind of play with the word because it will shift things within you, and you don't have to make it an explanation, right? We can just say, like she just has, I love money because I love myself. I love money because I love money. I create wealth because I create wealth. But it shifts something in your brain. where, because it's looking for a reason. And that reason can just be because you want to, right? We don't need to sit there and say, I, create wealth because I deserve it, right? Because I struggled throughout my life. I deserve to have money. No, I create wealth because I decided to, because I want to, because I am. And that's one of the biggest things to remember. Because is a good key word to use, and just say, because I choose to, because I can, because of whatever it is, right? I'm a happy loving wife because I'm a happy loving wife. I don't need a whole different reason aside from that's who I am. So one of the other things we were to work on was to make a list of all the reasons why you deserve money. Right? And you can make it up. You can dive into the reasons, why you didn't have money and now you feel you do deserve it, right? You deserve it because you need to live. You deserve it because you deserve to have a beautiful life. You deserve to have what you truly desire. um, what are some other reasons that you deserve money? It could just be, you know, because I want to provide for my family, because I want to provide for myself, because I want to make sure that I don't have to scramble to find a meal, right? Or because I want a new car or a new house. There are no right or wrong reasons. There are no selfish reasons. Like, you desire money because you desire money. You don't have to be humble, right? Or modest. You don't have to feel bad about wanting it. I know a lot of the times we've had that feeling of needing to, money is evil, money is bad, it's gross, it makes us feel like we're selfish or greedy. And it doesn't have to be that way. We need to remove those. Do things with that, provide love to oneself. Yeah, exactly. Money isn't the root of all evil. Money isn't gross. Money isn't slimy, right? We need to remove that connotation from it. I don't know where everybody is. Um, it says make a list of some beautiful things that have happened in this world thanks to money. Some things I can think of just thinking of Christmas season is, Toys for Tots. Honestly, had that opinion on money for a long time. Me too. Me too. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I did too. I I remember when I started working with manifestation and really discovering more about myself. I used to say I hate money, that I hated it, that I loathed it. Like, not even like loathe was the word that came out. So I loathed it, and and that was a big eye opener for me because there was no reason for me to hate it, right? It was just I hated the responsibility of it. I hated that I would get it and it would leave, right? So I had to shift out of that and understand that it it just because I send it out doesn't mean it's not going to come back. I had to realize that I could bring it in at any time, and um, you know, and this is something because we started talking about this last week towards the end of the first book, And I realized that a lot of the times that's what it was still. Like I was still holding on and worried that if I spent money that I wouldn't get it back somehow. And the fact of the matter is, when it all breaks down, it's energy. And we can put energy around money, good, bad, or indifferent, right? So we can always pull in more at any time, but we have to have a good mindset about it, right? The more we have like that lack mindset or that stingy mindset, it creates a resistance for it to come in, and we need to release that. But back to the beautiful things that money has, helped make things in the world happen. Like I was saying, there's that Toys for Tots. That takes money. People donating, right? The Salvation Army, they collect the money to help other people during this time. Um, School fundraisers help children go to field trips. Good morning, Lindsay. Um, there's so many different things that money does to help create good things in the world, not just the, gross, grody things. Science, yes. Corrective lenses, artificial limbs, absolutely. Um, we wouldn't we wouldn't have these things if it weren't for money, right? Either for our personal purchase or even just for research. Um, it it's a big thing, and it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Um, there's so many good things that are created from money. Hi, Mitch. I don't do free yes nos in the morning. That's exclusively on my evening streams. You're welcome to stay and learn some things, but you're welcome to come back too. And then it talks about making a list of all the awesome things and experiences money will add to your life. Right? That might be you want to move, you want to purchase a house, or you want to purchase a new car. It could be, again, like I said, just being able to afford groceries to put into, to put in your fridge, in your pantry. Um, Maybe you want to travel. It could be a number of different things. And again, there aren't any right or wrong answers here. It is what it is for you. For myself, it's I want a new car. I want a good, stable, beautiful car again. Helping those that need help, including me. Yes, I want to be able to do that. I want to, and I do it when I can, but I want to be able to do it more often. I want to be able to help those who are struggling, because you know what? We all have been there. We all have struggled. We all have had instances where, you know, maybe we've fallen behind, or lost a job, or, lost our place of where we were staying and we needed to find a new place. Like, I want to be able to help those who are in a financial struggle, in order to help get them back on the right path, right? Whether that's they need a down payment for a deposit or whatever, or a car or whatever, something. I would love to do that more for others, um, and help them get back on the right track, right? And teach them these things. Um, so those are definitely things I want to do with money. I want to help as many people as I can, who not only, I want to help those who truly want to do better in their life. Because there are, I mean, let's be honest, there are some people, and I don't like to think of people this way, but there are some people who don't want to change their life. They're completely content and struggling, and um, making things more difficult for themselves. But there are people out there who are struggling, who are really trying, and they want better for themselves. And those are the people I want to help, in hopes to inspire those who can see, like, hey, that person was struggling just like I am, and they're on a better track. I want them to see the inspiration, and hopefully then they take the initiative to make things better with themselves. And I want to help them. I mean, there's people who I would still help who might not be, you know, trying their hardest, but I never want to see a family go without Christmas, right? I never want to see that, especially with children. Um, I don't want to see people go without food. I don't want to see people go without shelter. So those are things that I want to do to help others with money. Um, and then it says make a list of how you being rich will benefit others, and that's basically the same thing about how the experiences of money, because I get to help those who truly need it, who truly want to do better but don't know where to start, or just need a hand up to feel a little bit more secure within themselves to really go after what they want, right? If they don't have to worry about coming up with a deposit for an apartment or a house or whatever, right? And they can just work on, um, you know, getting back on their feet, then that's one thing I would love to do, right? Because I don't care who you are, you've struggled in your life. Even people who were born with money, they might not have struggled financially, but they've struggled in other ways. Um, yeah, to help them change this perspective of themselves and money. Yeah, because when you're in that deep hole too, you look at money and you're like, oh, it's so difficult, right? Like, I'll never have it. With the energies of the full moon and also Neptune going direct on the 3rd, I want to help others. Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, we're in the season, we're in the holiday season, right? Nobody wants to see other people not be able to, give their kids a Christmas, no matter how big or small it is, right? There are people that have been struggling, especially during the pandemic, since the pandemic started, that a lot of them are like, we're just not doing Christmas this year. We can't afford it, right? And that breaks my heart for the children. Yes, I know it's so much more than presents, but at the same time, like, it breaks my heart to see children who don't receive presents during this time. And I know that there's charities out there that help. Um, but like, even just to have a nice Christmas dinner. And then the last thing on the homework last night was to fill in the blank. I'm grateful to money because, right? And to me, because I can do so much for myself and for others. I can support others. I can, help others. I can support my family, right? But I love to support my friends who are doing their own thing. They're trying to pull away from that 9 to 5, or they threw themselves into their own business. I want to support them, right? I want to support them, and I want them to know that they're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing, right? That I see their heart and I see their drive, because there's been so many times that I have attempted to do different businesses, on the side to kind of help me move away from that 9 to 5 grind years ago. And I had people who supported me, but then there were people who just kept telling me how silly it was or it'll never work, right? I don't want to be that person. Hello, Rachel. I don't want to be that person. I want to be the person who's just like, what do you got? How can I support you? How can I help? Like, what can I do to help support your business? Oh my goodness. I'm not sure if Brittany is awake yet. I haven't seen her. I don't know if she posted. I sent her a message or a reminder. But that was pretty much the homework from last night. Hopefully, I know it was a crazy day for me. That's why I kind of wanted to go over it with everybody, and kind of go through things. Hopefully, that helps you kind of spin your wheels and helps you kind of figure out the answers for yourself. Um, I'm gonna start the 5-minute meditation. Lindsay, could you put up a comment that we're in a 5-minute? Yeah, I get it, Indigo. It happens. He put up a comment that we're in a 5-minute meditation. Yesterday was an emotional day for me. Luckily, Trevor was there for me. Aw, baby. I love you. I was, I had, I was just exhausted yesterday. And, like, my whole body was just like, we're shutting down. I'm like, okay. Alright, I'm going to start the timer. Again, if you know how this goes, we just kind of relax. We let go of everything. Try to keep our thoughts or try to keep from engaging in our thoughts, and just let them pass on by. We'll be doing 5 minutes, and that's about it. So I'm going to start that. Okay, time's up. Alright guys, I'm going to do a little intro again, just because I may be cutting out the first part of, I've been trying to, with YouTube. So, although I tried to yesterday and it wouldn't upload my video. But, so, welcome in. We are currently working on the book You Are a Badass at Making Money. And it says the master of the mindset of wealth, right? So we're shifting out of our poverty mindset into our wealth mindset. I thank you guys for being here with me. And so what we do here is we read a chapter, sometimes two, and we discuss everything that we read and we apply it. Last night we had some homework that we were assigned. I'm not sure about today if we're going to be getting homework or not, but will be, this one is a long chapter, a really long chapter. So yeah, there is a little bit of different things that we do with this chapter too. So what I do afterwards is I'll take a picture of the quote-unquote homework and I'll post it both in my Facebook group and my Discord group, so that way you guys can see it. You don't have to write this down. And then again, I upload these videos onto YouTube each day. Everything is in the link in my profile. So you can find my YouTube channel, you can find the Discord and the Facebook group, whatever you're most comfortable with working with right now. Eventually we are going to be moving probably these off of TikTok and onto, say, Zoom or in Discord. So so definitely connect with us outside of TikTok. Join my Facebook group or the Discord channel. It's slowly growing, but things are happening and things are moving and shifting. So, alright. So with that, we are going to get into the second chapter of the book. And it is called Why You Ain't Rolling in the Cheddar Yet. When I was a kid, every so often my parents would get my brothers and sisters and me all dressed up, foul us onto a plane, and off we go to visit my dad's side of the family in his hometown of Naples, Italy. I have such a vivid and random memories of those trips. My first ever glass of blood red orange juice, unthinkably purple and delicious, that I sipped on the balcony of our hotel room with my bare feet up on the railing. My grandfather's giant green parrot who screamed at us in Italian, a bird. My Aunt Lucia greeting us with her arms lifted high over her head in a pre-hug enthusiasm, and the shocking mound of armpit hair thus revealed, the likes of which I've never seen on a lady, and which was so terrifyingly obscene to my American sensibilities. It was as if she greeted us by spreading her legs in my face. Oh, man. During one of these trips, when I was around 7 years old, my uncle Renato took the whole gang out for his favorite seafood restaurant, someplace overlooking the water with a big patio full of picnic tables. The horde of Sincero cousins, siblings, aunts, uncles, in-laws, and grandparents vied for prime placement around two long tables, and by some stroke of luck, amidst the chaos, I managed to score the most coveted seats right next to my dad. My father was the focal point of everything on these trips, not only because he was like a celebrity, the dashing eldest son returned home with his beautiful American wife, proud, brood, and successful doctor's practice, but mostly because he was the only one who spoke both Italian and English. Which meant that every time anyone said anything, 4 long rows of picnic benches and 20 sets of eyes were transfixed on him, blinking in eager hopes of him translating some witticism or anecdote that would allow us to turn to one another and laugh, nod, and feel the sense of tribe that families who actually understand what the hell one another is saying feel. Charmaine, I don't do yes, no's in the morning, sweetheart. That's exclusively on my evening streams. Right after we were seated, the owner or chef or someone important came up to our table and made a big show of greeting Uncle Renato, who was clearly a celebrity in his own right. And there was much handshaking and cheek pinching and benevolitudoing before the man clapped his hands together and announced, "Welcome, my friends. I hope you are hungry," and disappeared inside the restaurant. Moments later, a steady stream of food that would continue non-stop for the next 4 hours began appearing in front of us. Thank you, Indigo. At some point, the waitress brought over a plate that was piled high with deep-fried circular somethings, and my dad pulled me onto his lap and told me to try one. So, what is it? I asked. Just try it. Yeah, but what is it? Instead of telling me, he turned to the rest of the table, pointed at the plate, and rattled off something in Italian. The only parts of which I understood were the words Jennifer, Mangia, and the laughter that ensued. I'm sure I said that wrong. Now there were 4 rows of picnic benches and 20 sets of eyes staring at me in this stupid plate of fried circles that I was suddenly terrified of. My father, in spite of his celebrity status, is a pretty shy guy, and Truth or Dare isn't really his scene, all of which made me think that whatever was on that plate must be really bad if he was willing to put on his big to-do about it. My mind immediately went to worms. It couldn't possibly be anything else. You hear all the time about these foreign countries where they eat things like tarantulas and eyes and brains, so of course some people must eat worms. I imagine how one could easily make a circle out of a worm, dip it in batter and deep fry it. I mean, what other creature could you do that with? The answer? Only worms. As deeply disturbing as this thought was, I hated being teased, and I hated losing at Truth or Dare even more. So in front of the entire Sincero nation, I popped a mysterious circle into my mouth and chewed, gagging and wincing while waiting for the worms to explode. But much to my surprise, there were no guts. Instead, it was more like eating a rubber band. Chewy and tasteless and dumb. Oh, you're fine. My father then yelled in my face, "It's squid!" And everyone erupted in laughter and applause, and my Aunt Alberta patted me on the head, and I retreated into a deep, seething blackness of hatred and humiliation that had me up and bolting for the bathroom in a fit of tears. I was a kid who liked fish. Had I known the truth about what I was putting in my mouth, I could have avoided the gagging, the drama, and the scolding. I got later that evening for kicking my brother hard in the shin when he imitated me trying to choke down a worm. Which brings me to the point of the story. Our realities are make-believe. Whatever we make ourselves believe, we experience. When it comes to forming and transforming our human experience, the power of the mind reigns supreme over any type of external truths. If you believe money is evil and or difficult to make, your bank account will have tumbleweeds blowing through it. Strong religious beliefs inspire everything from wars to glorious houses of worship to cutthroat charity pie baking contests. The belief that you are hot and sexy will have you getting hit on by strangers on the street, and if you believe that you're eating worms, you will gag. There's a neuroscientist named Vilyaner Ramchandran, who uses the power of belief to help amputees in excruciating pain find relief. Many people who lost a limb experience what's called phantom pain. Very real pain sensations in a part of their body that no longer exist. Because the limb is no longer there, There's no way for them to massage it or soak it or do anything to relieve the pain. Hello, how freaking torturous is that? Fear is so easy to believe in if you allow it. Yep. Sounds like a helicopter, babe. Through the use of mirrors, Ramachandran reflects the image of a patient's existing limbs to where the missing limb used to be. So it appears that the missing limb is no longer missing. So then if they're missing an arm, for example, they move their existing arm, unclench their hand, relieve the tension however they can, and the mind is tricked into believing that this is happening to the missing arm, and the pain disappears. By making the mind believe that the non-existing exist, he is able to help his patients change their physical reality. Your external world is a mirror of your internal world. I talk about this a lot, about how everyone else is our mirror. Everything that we see comes from within. We start it. Our imagination starts it. The world reflects it. So if you don't like what you're seeing, you don't like what you're doing, you have the ability to change it. If you can make yourself believe the thoughts that are screwing up your financial life, i.e., I can't make money because of X, I'm a single mom, I live in the middle of nowhere, I'm an idiot, etc., you can make yourself unbelieve them too. This is how powerful we are and how deceptively simple changing our lives is. We can literally create the reality we desire by making ourselves think and believe that we desire to think and believe. How awesome is that? Hello, Deontay. How are you? Our beliefs, along with our thoughts and words, are at the root of everything we experience in life. Which is why consciously choosing what rules around in your mind and falls out of your mouth is one of the most important things you can do. This conscious choosing of your thoughts, beliefs, and words is called mastering your mindset. And master it you must if you like to live large and in charge instead of being bossed around by your circumstances. Here's the lowdown on how your mindset works. Number 1 is beliefs. When it comes to money, most people feel like their beliefs are in pretty good shape. Hell yes, I will gladly let you give me money all day long, thank you very much. Here, I just so happen to have a bag for you to put it in. But what they don't realize is that... Huh? Lynches? Yeah, if I cut that power line into here, it'll be fucking crazy. Oh. But what they don't realize is that this is their conscious mind talking. A little bit. And that deep down, we all have our subconscious mind, which is the motherboard that controls all of our results. And if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So no matter how much you may think you're all about the money in your conscious mind, if your subconscious believes that you will get cut off from all family gatherings if you get rich, because as a kid, that's what you saw your jealous grandfather do to your dad when he got rich, you ain't going to be rolling in it anytime soon. Here's why. The Little Prince. The subconscious mind is like a 7-year-old prince who suddenly becomes king when his father dies. He's running the kingdom of your adult life based on information that he's gathered and processed while doing somersaults and pulling down his pants in the front yard. Meaning he didn't really process any of it at all. When you're born, you don't have any attitudes and belief about money. You arrive blank, open, game for anything. You base your truth about money on what you learn from the people around you and the experiences you have. All of this information flows into your subconscious mind before your brain has matured and developed any sort of filter or analytical ability to be like, hold on a minute, just because mom and dad fight about money all the time doesn't mean money is bad. It could mean he's jealous that she makes more than he does. Or that she wants him to pay more attention to her, so she picks fights with him. When you're a kid, all this information comes in through a much simpler kid-sized perspective, meaning you take what's right in front of you at face value. So with this example, where you grew up seeing your parents fight about money, you might believe money equals fighting equals scary equals bad. Or if I make money, I will be yelled at and unlovable. Or money scares the hell out of me because it looks like someone's about to get hit every time the topic comes up. And this information, excuse me, in this very basic emotional form gets lodged in your subconscious mind like a meat cleaver as the truth. And there it remains for the rest of your life, unless you reprogram it, which I will show you how to do later. Serving you well if it's positive and helpful, and frustrating the crap out of you if it holds you back from creating the life you desire. Yes, this is a call out to childhood. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. Here are 3 basic attributes of the subconscious. It's primal. The subconscious mind's number 1 concern is survival. As a little baby who can't take care of or fend for itself, losing love and being abandoned literally equals death. So anytime we come near to putting ourselves at risk... Sorry, hang on. My ears are ringing really bad. The little prince goes crazy and tries to stop us. This is one of the main reasons we stay stuck in lives we're not nuts about. We don't want to risk trying and failing, trying and succeeding, losing weight, getting rich, having a new opinion, a new love life, a new strut in our step for fear the people we love will reject us when we change. While this may work for a little kid who's doing the best he can to survive, it sucks for an adult. It's sneaky. Most people have no idea what they've got all these underlying beliefs holding them back. They're only aware, somewhat, of their conscious thoughts, so they work on those and leave the real culprit beneath undisturbed. This is how we get trapped in our patterns. Dating the same weirdos over and over, repeatedly working for people who treat us like poo, spending all of our money the second we make it. The little prince and your unquestioned conscious beliefs are rolling the roost. It doesn't want to be dethroned. And your little prince will pitch a full-on temper tantrum if it looks like things are headed that way. Let's say you make the bold decision to quit your job as a kindergarten teacher and open the daycare business of your dreams. You put very clear and no-nonsense financial goals firmly in place. Set about securing a loan to rent a space. Come up with a name like perhaps Who Cares Daycare, and neatly get all your ducks in a row. Meanwhile, beneath the surface, if you believe that struggling is more noble than succeeding because that's what your parents taught you, and that everyone who loves you as you used to be will judge and abandon you when you're rich, your subconscious self might attempt to protect you by suddenly getting the flu, by picking fights with people who can help you, by inspiring you to procrastinate, make terrible investments, drink your face off the night before or morning of an important meeting, etc. When you change who you're being, you're basically killing off your old identity, which completely freaks your subconscious self out. Change hurls you into the unknown and puts you at risk for all sorts of loss and, of course, all sorts of unthinkable awesomeness, which is why it brings you your biggest fears to the surface. Right? We've discussed this too. We have to kill that old self in order to become that new self. Because we can't take the old self with us. Because the old self is going to want to keep doing what you've always done. So we have to leave it behind. We have to bury it. Right? We have to release it and bury it. Let the dead bury the dead, man. Your little prince is desperately trying to keep you in a safe, known space, otherwise known as your comfort zone. But if the truths you're running your life on no longer fit who you're becoming, it's like trying to squeeze into a snow pants you wore as a kid when you're 36 years old. Not so comfy at all. Yet we do it all the time because even though they cut off our circulation and hold us back from who we so desperately want to become. The puffy pants are familiar, cozy. So you're invited to the funeral of that child, Prince, and me at the end of the month. Yes, absolutely. I'll be there. The puffy pants are familiar, cozy, and feel safer than trying on an outfit that we've never worn before. We're so attached to the unhelpful familiar, in fact, that we will spend our valuable, very finite time here on earth crafting excuses to keep ourselves right where we are, instead of leaping into the glorious unknown and growing into who we're really meant to be. The walls of your comfort zone are lovingly decorated with your lifelong collection of favorite excuses. Oosh. Love your little prince for being a great pal by trying to protect you, but it's time to step into your power and put on your grown-up crown and take your kingdom back. Along with our overbearing little prince, the quest for earthly security holds people back from living the lives of their dreams more than almost anything else. And the ridiculous part is, it doesn't even exist. Ouch, right? People will spend lifetimes slogging it out in secure jobs they hate, staying in relationships with people they don't like, rather than risk being alone. Never spending money on anything fun in order to save it for a rainy day. Meanwhile, we are flying through outer space in an infinite universe on a planet prone to earthquakes and plagues and ice ages. That secure job at that secure company could dry up. Some lunatic could run up and start beating you to death with a tree branch. Anything could happen at any time. Well, Jesus, Jen, don't be putting these fears in my head about psychopaths coming and beating me with tree limbs. But I get what she's saying. I'm like, dang, girl. Going for the throat. Now, of course, focusing... Sorry, I didn't even read the next paragraph. Now, of course, focusing on this wouldn't be helpful in living a productive or happy life because we'd be crouched under tables and clinging to buildings while trying to walk down the street. But I'm reminding you of it in hopes of liberating you from the pointless, oftentimes life-sucking trap of sacrificing living your dreams for false security. To free your heart up, to follow your joy and ride the wave of awesomeness instead of limiting yourself and playing it safe. Trying to protect yourself from your fears protects you from experiencing a full, evolved, and juicy life. I'm not talking about putting yourself in harm's way. Poo-pooing safety precautions or acting like an irresponsible maniac. Screw it, we're all going down anyways. Let's cash in the kids' college funds, buy a bunch of blow, and drive to Mexico. I'm talking about freeing yourself up to thrive in abundance instead of living life clinging to your fears. I'm talking about focusing on your heart's desires, on infinite possibilities, on enjoying the crap out of your life instead of worrying about what you might lose. Be responsible. Put money aside for the future. Wear your seatbelt. Make big fun plans with your friends and family. Don't walk through shady neighborhoods alone. Invest your money wisely. Exercise your body and your mind. Practice safe sex. Don't smoke cigarettes or get drunk in public. And badmouth your neighbors. Act as if you got a long, happy life on earth ahead of you. But do not shrink back from something you desire because it's too risky. Just being alive is risky. Allow yourself to experience what your heart desires as if this is your one and only chance to take the ride of your life. So the next thing that affects our subconscious is our words. Our perception of reality is greatly influenced by our words. Words bring our thoughts and beliefs to life and help anchor them into our realities through repetition. Words help us form identities. We get attached to our lingo, our shtick. My memory's crap. I left the keys in the front door again. What a tube. The more you tell yourself you're a forgetful tube, the more you will believe it and hence act like a forgetful tube. You tell the kid that she's stupid enough times and she'll believe she is, even if she just taught herself to read in Chinese. I told myself pretty much every day for 40 years that I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life, and as a result remained in the fetal position of hopelessness and confusion for decades. Had I replaced the phrase with I don't know with clues are all around me, I would have opened myself up to receive tidbits of clarity instead of slamming the door on Lord only knows how many golden opportunities. It is so true. Words are our wands. We really have to pay attention to the things that we say, especially about ourselves, right? We're so conditioned to put ourselves down as somehow it's accepting, right? Like she says, I'm a forgetful tube, or I'm so forgetful, or I don't know how to do math. I can't do math to save my life. Hello, April. How are you, baby? So it's important to pay attention to those words, to really listen to what it is you're saying so you can see what you're putting out there, right? We have to pay attention, number one, to the beliefs that she was just talking about, what we feel is true, but we have to pay attention to the words that we're saying too. They are a very powerful tool to oneself or to people we say them to, absolutely. I mean, I look at the way that I have talked to my children, and I'm not perfect. There are times where I'm like, how can you be so silly? Like, how can you not get this, right? But even though I didn't ever call anybody stupid, that's what they heard. And I'm like, you're not stupid. You're very smart, right? But we have to be careful in that. We have to be careful in how we speak to ourselves and those around us. I know a lot of people, when their children were younger, and I see this happen a lot, they'll say things like, oh, my kid's an angel, but watch, I'm in for it when they hit puberty and they do their teenage rebellion, right? My kid's going to hate me when they're a teenager. And guess what? They do. Because you believe it so badly. When I was raising my daughter, when she was smaller, I never sat there and thought about, oh, how many times is she going to tell me she hates me? How many, she's going to turn into this rebellious teenager. I never thought that. I would never play into that. And when people would say that about their own kids, I'm like, I'm avoiding that one. I was like, I'm not putting, and I didn't even know about things back then. I'm like, I'm not putting that out there. Like, I'm working to build a good relationship with my daughter that she doesn't feel the need to rebel, right? And she and I do have a good relationship. Maybe there are things that I don't know about her, right? There could be, but I'm not focusing my energy on that. She and I have a very good relationship, and she's very open, and we're honest with one another. And she has never once in her life told me that she's hated me. And I have, friends and family who have children who their children have told them from like age 5 that they've hated them. So, I mean, it is all in what we believe happens. It is all in what we continue to say. So, pay attention to your beliefs. Pay attention to the words. What comes out of your mouth comes into your life. Because we are creatures of habit who tend to have our words on repeat. They become like a chisel that forms grooves in our minds, playing the same stories over and over, anchoring in our thoughts and beliefs and defining our realities. Our words are like water flowing over rocks. Over time, they have the power to create grooves the size of the Grand Canyon. This is what I love about the phrase stuck in a rut. You're literally stuck in a rut or a groove of thought, beliefs, and words. And in order to free yourself, you need to consciously create a new groove. And a great place to start is by getting yourself some new, better words. Language defines and shapes our perception of reality by giving it an understandable structure. We create and reinforce boundaries around time, for example, talking about what we did yesterday, how tomorrow can't come fast enough, and how someday I'm going to start eating healthy, but right now I'm going to explore what a cheeseburger tastes like with a slab of butter on it, etc. I think instinctively we know the right things, but we get distracted by other people's words. Yeah, absolutely. Especially people we look up to. Absolutely. Our parents, our older siblings, our friends, our neighbors. We put a lot of weight on other people's opinions and words. You're absolutely right. I agree. Meanwhile, according to Einstein, time is an illusion. It's flexible, non-linear, and the whole 24 hours in a day thing is a giant hoax. We've all heard this before, yet we are a staunch 7 days in a week, 52 weeks in a year kind of culture, and this is made real by our language. The hoppy people, who perceive the world as more in tune with Einstein's findings, have no words in their language to express the past or the future, because they basically exist in the now. In fact, they don't even have a word for now, because to step back and call it something would take them out of the moment. There are countless realms of reality, and the words we use wrap us up nice and tightly excuse me, into whichever perception we're participating in. Words also have an incredibly persuasive effect on us. Think about how incredible it is when someone speaks directly to what you're feeling or thinking or fearing. The right words spoken at the right time can make you feel recognized on a deep soul level, and can be so powerful as to inspire an entire nation of smart people to vote idiots into office, or a whole community to drink lethal Kool-Aid. So start paying attention and notice if you're repeatedly announcing how much you hate, fear, mistrust money via language such as, I'm an idiot when it comes to money. I could never afford that. I hate that rich bastard, etc. If you're bad-mouthing money, you're going to want to go ahead and knock that off. I know I used to do that all the time. I used to say that. I could never afford that. I could never do that. You know, that's a pipe dream. Yeah, someday I'll get there, right? Fully knowing that I didn't believe that. Next up is our thoughts. Your thoughts inspire emotions that inspire action that forms your reality. Same, right? When I was little, we lived next door to a family with a bunch of kids close to my age. Their parents were German, and while I was playing at their house one day a couple weeks before Christmas, they let me in on some very valuable information. Apparently, not only were there presents to be had under the tree on the 25th of December, but there was another holiday they celebrated in Germany at the beginning of the month called St. Nicholas Day. If you left a shoe outside overnight, it would be full of presents the next morning. Hello? I immediately went home and picked out the biggest shoe I had, a clog, waiting 9 million years for the rest of the day to go by and dinner to finally be over so I could sneak outside and leave my clog right next to the front door as instructed. Excuse me. As I lay in bed that night listening to my parents clean the kitchen, my heart suddenly leapt out of my chest at the sound of the front door opening and the dog being called. In a matter of moments, my name was being called too. Jennifer, get your butt down here right now. My mother was standing at the bottom of the steps, waving my clog over my head, demanding to know how it ended up outside. I mumbled something about taking it off and forgetting to bring it in, apologized, and slinked back upstairs with my freezing cold shoe. Great. Now I'd have to sneak out again after they went to bed and risk getting in twice as much trouble. Yet as serious of an offense as it was a brand new clog on top of everything else. And as grave as the repercussions would no doubt be, it was totally worth the risk. Because presents. The story ends with me getting no presents, obviously. Getting busted again thanks to the stupid dog, who needed to be let out early to pee, and being put on a full month of hamster cage cleaning duty as well as dishwasher emptying duty. made all the worse by the glee and brought my newly chore-free siblings. We are creatures who are driven by emotion. When we're all fired up, we ain't listening to nothing else, not wisdom and logic or fear and doubt. Our emotions compel us to participate in staggering displays of both the magnificent and the moronic. We will flip over parked cars in the street when our team wins the World Cup. Date people covered in red flags. Good morning, Brittany. Spend hundreds of dollars on a beautiful pair of shoes that don't fit. Risk a second round of scolding from our parents for leaving our clogs outside, etc. We will also accept an exciting new job that we're unqualified for. Overcome our fear of flying to visit a friend in need. Step out onto a stage in front of hundreds even though we're terrified. Go into red to launch a business of our dreams, etc. You cannot have an emotion without having a thought first. We won. I love my friend. I want to be my own boss. When you learn to master your mindset and focus on thoughts that elicit strong positive emotions, you wield your power to take crazy leaps of faith in spite of your fears and your little prince trying to hold you back. It all starts with your thoughts. They are the catalyst that brings on the shift that changes what you believe and how you act. To get a better idea of what I'm talking about, here's a breakdown of how your mindset works. Your beliefs are driving the bus. They take you where you're going, whether you're paying attention or not. Your thoughts are the tour guide, the person up front with the microphone and the clipboard. She can lean over and yank the wheel, slam on the brakes, step on the gas, flip the bus. She can do whatever, whenever she wants. She usually works in harmony with your beliefs, but she has all the veto power. Your words are the assistant to your thoughts and beliefs. Your words back them up. Voice their opinion, anchor in their message, keep it real. Your emotions are the fuel. They are ignited by your thoughts. And you can change your beliefs and the direction of your life. Without emotions, you're going nowhere new and exciting. Without emotions, you're going nowhere new and exciting. Your actions build the road. They pave the path for your beliefs, but will reroute should thoughts and emotions make a change of plans and decide they want to stop at Dairy Queen or something. When all the facets of your mind, body, and spirit are in alignment, focused on the same desire, singing 99 bottles of beer in the wall as they merrily roll along, you can manifest all the riches you desire. But if you're thinking about how much you'd love to make an extra $5,000 a month and how you have no idea how to do it, if you're feeling terrified and extremely doubtful, believing people won't take you seriously, yourself included, if you're saying out loud, I love money and it comes to me easily every morning in the mirror, and if you're making one sales call per day after which you give up and crack open a beer, you ain't going very far. You ain't going to get very far. All members of Team Mindset must be on the field bringing their A game. Yet it's your thoughts, and I hate to play favorites here, that are the biggest badasses of them all. In order to get your thoughts working at their max potential, let's take a look at some of the most common beliefs about money that we often unconsciously accept as the truth and blab away about all the livelong day. Pay attention to which of these remind you of something you may have heard yourself thinking or saying, because awareness is the first key into breaking the spell of your not-so-awesome financial reality. Poor Brittany's trying to get in and TikTok won't let her in. What the heck, TikTok? Here's the drill. Thank you for the follow. Become aware of what your limiting thoughts and beliefs are. Question and investigate them. Rewrite them. Say it out loud and proud. I'm going to do the first few so you can see how it works. Unhelpful thought. Money can't buy happiness. Question. What makes me happy? The answer. Hanging out with the people I loved, grilled cheese sandwiches, being loved and loving others, laughing my ass off, giving great gifts, traveling, hiking, playing with my dog, taking road trips, listening to music. What are you doing, Rory? Drinking beer, having my own business, leaving huge tips, freedom, and getting massages. Question: does having money help me achieve any of these happy things? The answer: yes. Rewritten thought: money supports my happiness. Come on, come here. Unhelpful thought: I'd rather focus on having fun than making money. Question: is it fun when you make money? The answer: yes, when I make it, it's fun, but what I have to do to make it isn't fun. Question: would it be worth your time during your one and only life to create an occupation that is fun? Answer: yes. Question: do you understand that anything you set your mind to is possible, even having a job that is lucrative and fun? Answer: yes. Rewritten thought: I make making money fun. Even if you're not 100% on board with believing these new stories yet, do you feel how much more emotionally uplifting they are than their original sad sack version? Do you understand how shifting the narrative with the same diligence a mechanic might replace a busted carburetor isn't? A bunch of the pain in the ass busy work? But sometimes that can help you make real transformation in your life. Here are some other commonly held beliefs that are real winners and that may sound familiar to you. Pick whichever one sounds like something you think or say and reframe them. You can't be rich and spiritual. Money isn't important, people are. Never go into debt. Save your money for a rainy day. Rich people are lucky, gross, selfish, entitled, snobby, shallow, egomaniacs, holier than thou. You have to work hard to make money. You can't make money doing X, whatever you love to do. I'm too irresponsible, lazy, clueless to make money. It's not polite to talk about money. It's important to have a good, secure job. If you get excited by making money, it means you're shallow. Money doesn't grow on trees. You must go to a good college to make money. Money causes stress. There's never enough money. Money is trouble. I don't want to be a sellout. You have to sacrifice having a good, fun life to make money. Money is out of my reach. You have champagne taste on a beer pocketbook. Always have a backup plan. It's lonely at the top. Who has that kind of money? He, she is only about the money. Imagine walking around experiencing similarly icky thoughts and feeling for something just as omnipresent as money. For example, what if you thought about these things about the sky? The sky is the root of all evil. It's not polite to talk about the sky. Loving the sky makes me a bad person. The sky turns otherwise decent people into pigs. You'd barely be able to leave your house, let alone relish the joys of life. When you, consciously or unconsciously, resent money or cling to your limiting beliefs about money or refuse to participate in making money, it does not serve you. It does not make you more noble. It does not help you or anyone else. What it does, it puts you on a hunger strike by cutting you off from that which you need, not only to survive, but to thrive. By embracing money and getting into the flow, you open yourself up to the abundance that is trying to reach you this very moment. Here's a success story. If she can do it, so can you. Here's a great story from Sandra, 44, who put more faith in what she desired to believe than when she was raised to believe. I used to live in my truck in the Midwest. I now live in my dream beach house in California and a successful actress. My main limiting belief around money was that if I made lots of it, my life would get too complicated and I wouldn't know how to handle it. You know, math, taxes, investments, etc. I was afraid that money, beyond necessity for the day, week, or month, would be more than I could understand or control. I didn't feel smart enough or good enough, blah, blah, yawn. Step 1. I got up and did the work. Thoughts and beliefs are key. I got clear about my fears around money and hammered myself with new beliefs like I love and approve myself. I'm open to all the good and abundance of the universe. I know what I'm doing. I deserve success and respect and awards and money and the best of the world has to offer. There is plenty of money and prolific prosperity for everyone, especially me. Step 2. I aligned my mentors and hired people who knew how to handle the stuff I didn't know about, was scared of, or disinterested in. I focused on being me, creating and delivering something of value to the world. I let other people handle the selling of it, the business of it, the legal of it, but kept my eyes open so I didn't get screwed out of what was mine. Step 3. I fell down and got back up more times than I ever imagined. I'm still falling down and learning how to get back up. Success is not an end-of-the-road game. It's a never-ending road game. And I'm practicing seeing and feeling the success fully as if it's already done, won, and in the bank. Love yourself because you're the only one of you ever. Do something badass with you have got. Even if people think you're crazy. Whatever it is you decide to do it with joy, gumption, and dedication. So it'll be your money maker and your merry maker. Alright, so here's part of this is the homework section. So to get rich, the suggested money mantra. Say it, write it, feel it, own it. I love money and money loves me. List 5 main things you remember your parents telling you about money. Take any negative thoughts that came up for you in the first step above and break them down as I showed you how to do earlier. Rewrite your new truths about money. Take the new truths that has most change for you and write it down every morning and every night. Feel it in your bones. Repeat it in your head as often as possible. Say it out loud. Keep hammering yourself with it until it sinks in. Notice how you've been clinging to security in a way that's holding you back in any part of your life. This could be dating someone who you know isn't the right person, never letting yourself spend your money on something fun, doing anything that bores you to tears because you want to be liked, you feel like you should, you'll be judged if you don't. Being scared to tell your blabbermouth neighbor that stopping by unannounced is unacceptable, etc. Find something that's not serving you that you've been scared to let go of because of the security it provides. And take the first steps in letting go. This is large, Marge. So if you can't think of anything off the top of your head, stick with it until you do. It can make a gigantic shift in all areas of your life. Please fill in the blank. I'm grateful to money because. So that was definitely a big chapter. And this is all about breaking down the beliefs that you have about money. The thoughts you carry, the action that affect your actions, right? So I really do want you guys to try and focus on this today or this evening. Again, I'll take pictures of all this and I'll post them. But we want to get down to the nitty gritty. If you really want things to change, we have to look at this. We have to find what our beliefs are around money. We have to find especially the negative beliefs. And we want to shift it. We want to rewrite them. And we want to hammer it in day and night. Right? So, one of the things, like, the 5 main things you remember about your parents telling you about money. I mean, if I didn't hear money doesn't grow on trees at least once a week, there's so much. It was, yes. Digging into the subconscious thoughts is going to be the greatest step. It's going to be a good step. And watching your thoughts and how you speak and really picking up on it. Again, I preach this time and time again every time I'm on live. You have to be aware. You have to be in the present. You need to pay attention of not only what you're saying and thinking, but the people around you. One way to do this, look at your Facebook feed. Look at your TikTok. Look at your Instagram feed. Any of that, your Twitter feed. What are you taking in and day out? Are you surrounded by people who believe that money is easy and fulfilling? Or are all your friends on Facebook talking about how they haven't been able to, go Christmas shopping? Or, all you see is how expensive everything is, right? I know this. I know that prices are up. Inflation is ridiculous. Like, we know this. But we don't want to keep feeding it, right? So we don't want that to make a factor in creating our world. It doesn't matter what's going on. We can afford what it is that we want, right? We want to change our mindset. Don't look at prices, right? Especially like, and I mean this, like, obviously one thing you need, especially if you're working out of the home, you need gas, right? You need to have transportation. You need gas. Stop going to the place that has it the cheapest. When you need gas, just go get gas, right? Doesn't matter. You'd be surprised. You probably will end up with the place that has the cheapest anyways, because you get deals all the time. If you can implement that as a belief that no matter where you go, you get great deals, right? You'll probably end up getting the cheapest gas that there is anyways. But stop like pushing yourself to make it to the next gas station because you need gas. If you notice you need gas, get gas. Okay? Because at the end of the day, you're not one who pinches pennies. You're smart with your money, right? But it doesn't matter. You need gas to get back and forth to where you're going. Just get gas. What are you doing? Hang on, I'll be right back. 1 second. So yeah, so the biggest thing right now, again, like I said, I will take pictures of this. We have the 5 main things that you remember your parents telling you about money. Take any negative thoughts that comes up for you in the first step above and break them down. So again, we want to ask the questions. So like, she talks about money doesn't grow on trees type thing, right? You want to become aware of what the limiting thought and belief is, right? Question and investigate them and rewrite them and say them out loud and proud. So money can't buy you happiness, how she broke that down. So, and taking that, money causes stress, right? Question. Is it money that causes stress, or is it our belief that we can't have money, right? Is it money that truly causes us stress? Or is it the lack of money that is causing us stress because we can't get what it is that we want? Rory, get down. So you can ask the same question, either, okay, what would make me feel less stress, or what would make me feel happy, right? And so then we're looking at all that again. And then that same question, does money help me achieve any of these happy things? Does money help relieve the stress of these things? Like, what truly is causing us stress? And so money is actually the vehicle, right? Money is not, it's not the thing that's causing happiness or stress. It's actually the vehicle. So if we have the vehicle and we have enough power behind that vehicle, right? If we have it in abundance, we're not worried about stress. We're doing the things that we love, right? So money is really not the problem. It's not. It's the energy we're attaching to it. So that's why she's telling you to ask these questions. So like she also has money supports my happiness, right? The unhappy thought, I'd rather focus on having fun than making money. And then, is it fun when you make money? And, going through that, asking the questions, like really getting down to it. Because the answer is money isn't the problem. A lack of money or an abundance of money isn't the problem. It's the vehicle. It's where we're going. It's which path we're taking. If we're taking a clunker or if we're taking a high-priced SUV. Yeah, exactly. Having a full tank of gas, we get closer to where we are going. Yep, exactly. So we want to take that and we want to rewrite our new truths, right? Money doesn't grow on trees. Okay, money doesn't grow on trees. I mean, obviously. I mean, if you want to get technical, it's made from trees. It's out of paper, right? But at the end of the day, money may not grow on trees, but money is abundant, right? Money is energy. We can pull more in. Money is not restrictive, right? Just because we can't go out in the backyard and pull it off a tree limb, right, doesn't mean anything. So take the new truth. Sorry. I forgot to put it on vibrate. And we want to write that down every morning and every night. Really beat it into your brain. Money exists as much as the tree does. Yeah, exactly. What are you doing? You're gonna knock yourself out. Notice how you've been clinging to security in a way that's holding you back in any part of your life. And in anything. This could be dating someone you know isn't the right person, never letting yourself spend your money on something fun, doing anything that bores you to tears because you want to be like you feel you should. You'll be judged if you don't, right? Being scared to tell your blabbermouth neighbor that stopping by unannounced is unacceptable, etc. Find something that's not serving you that you've been scared to let go of, right? Because that security it provides. This could be even... This is the toxic things that we talk about, the toxic people, the toxic situations, right? This could be an old friend that every time you talk to them, especially every time if you give them good news and they're like, oh, I wouldn't get too excited about that. Like, let that go. You don't need people pulling you down, right? We don't need to have the toxicity, the negativity, any of that in our life. Yeah, she's crazy. She's in her, we call it the Snooki stage, even though it's Rory. But yeah, so we want to really look at the things that we've been holding on to, that's keeping us stuck because we're afraid to let it go, right? Because we're afraid to hurt somebody's feelings, or we're afraid to leave that toxic relationship, right? We need to really look at the things that are holding us back, and let them go. Because if it's not going to support us moving forward, it no longer serves us, and we need to release it, right? I mean, obviously, there are things that we can't let go of. Like, I serve my kids more than they serve me at this point, but obviously I'm not letting them go. But you know what I mean. So we want to make sure that we're just getting rid of the things that are holding us back, that are keeping us from moving forward, whether it's a fear or whether it's people or situations that keep us from believing that we can have what it is that we want. So, anybody have anything to add? Indigo, you've been the constant in here today. Brittany can't get in. She's got to update her phone and TikTok and everything, so TikTok's giving her trouble. You missed it. You missed what? The whole thing? That's okay. It'll be on YouTube. I'll be posting it on YouTube as soon as it's processed. Hopefully it doesn't take all day like yesterday. Oh, the end. I'll read it real quick. I hope that everyone else is doing okay. I know, right? So, the end, this is the homework lens, and I'm going to take a picture of it and I'll post it on Facebook and Discord, so whichever one works for you. So to get rich, the suggested money mantra, say it, write it, feel it, and own it, is I love money and money loves me. And then the first thing to do is list the 5 main things you remember your parents telling you about money, or anybody while you were a child, right? What are the 5 big things that you heard over and over and over again? Take any negative thoughts that come up for you in the first step above and break them down. So, like, she broke it down in here, and I'll take a picture of that too, kind of and I'll put that in with the other pictures. Like, does money help? Oh, money can't buy happiness, right? And then you ask the questions like, well, what makes you happy, right? And then it says, whatever. She talks about things and it says, well, does money make those things easier, right? Does having money help me achieve any of those happy things? And the answer is yes. So therefore, the rewritten thought is money supports my happiness. So that's the rewritten thought. And then you take that new truth that has the most charge for you and write it down every morning and every night. Feel it in your bones. Repeat it in your head as often as possible. Say it out loud. Keep hammering yourself with it until it sinks in. So we're doing this in affirmation form, being affirmative with it, right? And then number 5, notice how you've been clinging to security in a way that's holding you back in any part of your life. This could be dating someone who you know isn't the right person, never letting yourself spend your money on something fun, doing anything that bores you to tears because you want to be liked, you feel you should, you'll be judged if you don't, being scared to tell your blabbermouth neighbor that stopping by unannounced is unacceptable, etc. Find something that's not serving you that you've been scared to let go of because of the security it provides, and take the first steps in letting it go. This is large, Marge. So if you can't think of anything off the top of your head, stick with it until you do. It could make a gigantic shift in all areas of your life. And then it says, please fill in the blank. I'm grateful to money because, and then fill that in. So, and we were talking, like, that's things like toxic friendships, toxic family members, right? It could be, you just do things because it's expected of you, but it really doesn't help you, right? That could be you're expected to, I don't even know, go to a family function because it's expected of you, but you don't particularly like it, and it causes you stress and it makes you upset, and you can just choose not to go. And it is going to upset other people, and that's okay. And you need to get uncomfortable. Be okay with being uncomfortable with that, because you're going to see, even though it might cause a little stress beforehand, you're not spending days unpacking all that stress the event caused. So, yes, there are things that you will continue to still do, but take note, be in the present, be aware of how things are really affecting you. If it does not make you feel good, you need to examine it and say, does this serve me? Is this something that I really need to keep doing? In all honesty. Yes, that is a big one. That is a big one, Indigo. There are a lot of people that do that, that have businesses, and people are like, oh, you do this. You could do this for me, right? Expecting it free or at a much reduced rate. It's important, and I preach this to my husband all the time. All the time. He's a carpenter, right? He's a contractor, and he'll have family members contact him, and they don't even ask for a discount rate or anything like that, but that's what he charges them. And I'm like, you're crazy. You shouldn't do that. And he's like, why not? I said, because if you didn't do the work, they would call somebody who would charge them probably double what you are charging them, and you're going to resent them because they're not paying you what you're worth, and you're not going to want to do the job. And it's been proven. So I'm like, you need to just charge what you would charge. If they say no, they say no. Yeah, it does. Yeah, they do. They expect it for free. But guess what? If you didn't provide it, they would be paying for it somewhere else. You don't like it? Go purchase it somewhere else then. And you don't have to offer it at a discount either, because they would not be getting a family discount anywhere else. So, yes, as lovely as those are, right? Because we've all had those opportunities, or we've had those experiences where we did get things at a discount because we did know family, or they're like, oh, here you go, like, I don't need this, right? Or I got free samples here. Like, those are things to be grateful for, right? It's a pleasant surprise, but it's not something that should be expected. And a lot of people have a hard time breaking this, right? Because, I mean, even things I've done, I've had people reach out to me, like, we'll even just go on my crocheting business, right? I have people who are like, oh, could you make me a hat? Sure. They're like, well, if I buy the supplies, is that fine? I'm like, so you don't want to pay me for my time? Like, no, I'm still going to charge you, right? I just might charge you less since you're buying the material, but I'm still going to charge you. You're not going to get off that easily. Like, you're saving $5, right? Or whatever, $5-10 for the material. But I'm still going to charge you for my time, right? And forget about it if I'm, making a blanket for you. Like, people don't get that. Like, if I wanted to gift you something, I will gift you something, right? I do it often. I will make things and I gift it to people, right? I will call somebody and I will work with them. I will give them coaching for free, right? There are times that happens, but for people to expect, like, to call me and be like, oh, can you do a reading for me real quick since I have you on the phone, and then not pay me, right? But if we're on the phone, I'm like, oh, let's just go ahead and take a look at that. I'm not going to charge you. I'm not charging you for readings when I suggest it, right? But if somebody is coming to me and talking to me and, like, we're just chit-chatting, they're like, oh, could you do a reading real quick? Like, that's a boundary that some people are crossing, and they feel okay with it. And those are the things I have to work with, because I have to stand up and say, sure, yeah, if you want to schedule an appointment, we can do that. Or if you want to, send a payment, I'll do it right now. But I get uncomfortable because I feel like they think I'm being stingy. But at the same time, are they not being a little stingy because they feel they should get it for free since I'm already on the phone with them? I mean, those are things that I struggle with. Those are things that I work with, right? Because those are things that I need to keep strong in my boundaries, because it is time, it is energy, right? If we're just chit-chatting and having a good time, I'm not expecting either way, right, to do a reading. But if I feel called to do a reading for you, I'm not charging you. I'm doing it because I'm being called to do it at that point in time. But if you ask me to do something and then get mad if I say, well, you can schedule an appointment or you can send me the money to do it, like, it it makes things uncomfortable on both sides. But it's okay for you to, especially in that situation, that's your time. That's your time. That's your knowledge. Whether you went to school or whether you've been working on that for years, that's your experience. I try to go into things when I ask people, like I might ask an opinion. Like my brother, he's a website developer, as a side hustle, and he's been doing it for decades, over 20 years. Like I might shoot him a message and be like, "Hey, what's the best site to kind of look into?" Like he'll tell me. But like I had asked him, I was like, "Hey, how much would you charge me to create a website?" He had told me, "I won't charge you anything." Well, guess what? That was 2 years ago. I'm still waiting, right? Because I'm not pushing it, because he also said he'd do it for free. So I've decided to do it myself, right? Or I will hire someone, or I had offered to hire him, right? But because I'm not paying him, I'm not a priority. So that's the difference. Yeah, the most valuable thing we have to offer is our time. Yeah. So I mean, it's it's amazing to me what people will want for free just because they know you. And that's also our beliefs, that our family is going to think that we're stingy because we're asking for our, our labor or our charge. Yeah. So, I mean, that's something we have to look into in ourselves too, right? We think that we're going to offend people because we ask to be paid rightfully for our time. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm the type of person who does the most for free, so a lot expect that when I do charge. Yeah, and, you know, I think too, Lindsay, one thing to, I guess, ask yourself is, why do you feel, or why do you do those things for free? Really get down to it. Ask yourself why you do them for free. Because it is your energy and it is your time. Do you feel like your energy and time aren't worth it? Do you feel somewhere deep down that you're not good enough to charge? Really ask yourself that. Do you feel that if you charge that you need to provide more? There's something there. Whether you feel, because God gave me a gift and I'm meant to share, and I believe I'm meant to help those who, okay. And I get that, who can't afford a reading. I do understand that. Um, However, just because you got a gift doesn't mean that you have to give it away for free. You still have to live and you still have to survive. And it's fabulous if you don't have to charge, right? I do see that too. But at the same time, there are things that, okay, let me put it in this perspective. You've talked about having your own brick and mortar store, right? Are you going to just give away things for free there? So it's the same thing, because you have a gift with that too. There's a gift behind all of that. Well, it's the same thing. Your time and energy is part of that store too, right? Your time and your readings are just like that as well. I used to do certain things free because I believed that I was not the best at doing the task. Same. Like, I had this belief that because I wasn't as experienced as some, that I shouldn't charge, right? Like, in same thing. I see big creators on here who do give away free readings, or um you know, they do collective readings or whatever, but make certain they have a link to where you can schedule a reading with them, and they charge you an astronomical amount, right? So they are charging. They are just giving away parts of their time for free, right? It's a way for them to make new connections. So just be aware of why you're doing this, um and ask yourself, truly be honest. Like, yeah, exactly. $275 for 30 minutes. For 30 minutes. And here I am, I bumped my prices up to $75 for 30 minutes. And I'm sitting here going, oh gosh, I hope people still, book with me. It's ridiculous. I know I'm worth it. I know what I do is good, right? Especially when it comes to coaching. I know I'm worth every penny. I know my course that I'm creating is going to help those who really want to manifest love. I know this, right? But I still get uncomfortable with the price that I'm going to ask for it. I don't have a problem with sharing my gift and doing some for free, right? I do it. I do free yes, no questions. I do that. That's part of, I don't want to be, I want to be able to give to those as well, right? But I also need to be aware that I have to feed my family. I have to take care of my family, right? Um, there are a lot of people who do get all up in a huff about, oh, you shouldn't charge because you were given this gift. So are you, right? These people who are sitting there saying you shouldn't charge because this was a God-given gift. Well, do you charge your boss for the time that do you go to work for free? Do you go to work for free? You spend how much on your college education? Do you go to work for free? Right? It's the same thing. People who have psychic gifts, everybody has them, right? But people who have taken the time to study, who have learned more, who have picked up books or take courses or got mentors, they've invested money. How is that any different than somebody going to college and then asking their boss to pay them a fair wage? Exactly. Some of us took the time to strengthen them. Exactly. So why a lot of people, again, they get upset when they're like, you shouldn't charge for this. No? So because you were more inclined to know math, and that brought you into IT or whatever, you shouldn't charge to program, you know, your internet, your company's internet, or any of that, make sure everything works, even though you spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in your education. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are things and time invested to hone the right skills. So we need to stop feeling as if just because we were given this gift that we should just give it away. I'm not saying that you can't give it away. You can. But it's still when you take the time to sit with one person one on one and give them so much time, like, then people start to really just expect that. And then when you wonder, when you do try to, you know, open up a storefront or whatever, they're going to go in there expecting you to be the cheapest, right? Or give away things for free because that's what you've always done. Or they might feel that maybe your stuff isn't, top shelf because you're not charging what it's worth, right? There's a lot of beliefs behind the money. Exactly. Good morning, patty cakes. Cards are not free. Rooms cost money. Incense and sage have expenses. Yeah, it all adds up, right? Candles, all of that. Friends of mine do candle magic, and oh my goodness. Sorry. Let me do it. Oh, it will. So, um, so we really need to take a look at how we're viewing all this, and ask ourselves those tough questions, and get down to the root of it all. Not be ashamed to charge what we really are worth. And don't be scared because you feel that you don't do it as often on live as some other people, right? Or know your worth. By the way, if anyone wants, I bought a ton of tea light candles and would love to light one for whoever wants. Aw, you're so sweet. You're amazing. And I mean, and that's the thing too. Like, that costs money, right? You have an investment in that, in those candles. I know they don't cost a whole lot, but it's an investment. You have investment in your herbs. But I love that you do that. I love that you do that. And I think it's a beautiful sentiment, and it really, because that's who you are too, Lindsay. I know that's who you are. You want to help, and you want to boost people. But you can also do that and make, it's okay to make a living off of what you do. It's okay to make a living off your gift. It's okay for you to, um, you know, make make a living off of what you love. Yeah, it is. I know. I know it is. So, all right, guys, we are at 10 to 10. So I'm going to log off. I appreciate you guys for being here today. And as always, you guys, I love you guys, and I hope you have a fantastic Tuesday. Remember, there are pleasant surprises around each corner, and we are going to transform this money mindset of ours. Have a fabulous day, guys. I'll talk to you later.